Hello and welcome back to Typical Labs. My name is Kai and this video was absolutely not rushed. As not voted for, today on Kai's Review Corner we'll be taking a look at Toejam Earl Back in the Groove. For starters, this game is very weird, not as weird as Parappa and Lammy though, so we're going to need a lot of precious context. This is the remake or reboot, I don't even know, to Toejam Earl, a very good game released in 1991 for the Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis if you're American. Back in the Groove was announced in 2015 via Kickstarter where they raised $500,000 of their $400,000 goal. It was scheduled for release in 2016, where it was picked up by Adult Swim Games, but ultimately released without them and instead self-published by Human Nature Studios on March 1st, 2019, where I happily bought the game the day it was released on Steam. Well, even with that context, I still think most people won't understand what the hell is going on in the game, so let's take a quick look at Toejam Earl on the Mega Drive to artificially extend the length of the video. I mean, give the viewers some context. Today I'm using the version of the game from the Sega Mega Drive Classics collection on Steam. The game begins immediately with these two aliens, funnily enough called Toejam and Earl, who tell their backstory. They lived on a planet called Funkatron, and this is their Rapmaster rocket ship where they blast banging beats across the galaxy. One day, they were cruising around the galaxy on their usual routine when Earl said he'd like to drive. He shows off by avoiding a bunch of asteroids but crashes into one. The ship plummets to Earth, and to quote Toejam, that is why you never let Earl drive. They must find 10 pieces of the ship scattered across the planet, and then they can just flex tape it back together and fly out of there. Seems simple enough. After this, we learn that the game can be played in split-screen co-op, very impressive for a system with 72 kilobytes of RAM and a 7.6 MHz processor, or in single player as either Toejam or Earl. Toejam moves faster due to his 3 legs and small size, but Earl can take more damage before dying. Unfortunately for Earl, every time your rank increases, your life bar increases but not your speed, making Toejam the infinitely better character. Oh, and your rank is indicated by the text by your character, such as Earl is a wiener. Another incredibly impressive feat, technology-wise, is the random world generation. Yep, that's right, back in 1991, this had random world generation like nearly every survival game that comes out today, like Minecraft. Big Earl spawns on an island all by himself with a couple of presents scattered everywhere and an elevator. Taking the interdimensional elevator, we get the funkiest elevator music ever. And are transported to the next floor. Like the intro suggests, we need to find 10 ship pieces indicated by a large hint when you arrive on a floor, while avoiding getting killed by the very large amount of things on the planet trying to end your life. If a floor doesn't have a ship piece, it's simply a game of trying to find the next elevator and go to a floor that does have one. This is one of the few flaws with the game. There's 25 floors, but only 10 have ship pieces, meaning there is 15 floors of just pure filler with not much incentive to explore the rest of the floor. Along the way, you'll find presents, which makes this episode tie in nicely to the fact that Christmas is just around the corner. Anyway, these give you power-ups that can be used to escape the grasp of various Earthlings trying to end you, or outright eliminate them. However, they have a huge risk factor involved. Presents aren't all good, many can give horrific downsides such as a rain cloud over your head that strikes you with lightning every few seconds, to randomizing the contents of the presents of your inventory, or even instantly demoting your rank by 1. This concept is absolute genius and adds a lot of tension when in a desperate situation, deciding which present to open when in a pinch. But how do you identify what's in a present? Well, you can either gamble and open it, or you can find the friendly man in a carrot suit and pay him $2 to which he will identify a present for you. No, I didn't make this up, this is a real video game. One final note is that this game is hella difficult. Enemies output massive damage that can one-shot even when playing as Earl. To try and increase your chances, you need to rank up, but there is no progress meter to show how close you are, and in addition to that, I don't have a clue what you actually need to do to rank up, as the gameplay consists of just walking from point A to point B, avoiding as many people as possible. Not to mention that identifying presents is a luxury, as money is very hard to come by in my experiences of playing the game. But trust me, the game is actually good, even if I just made it sound terrible. Maybe play the modded chill edition of the game where you have infinite lives. Well, that's a quick glance at Toejam Earl on the Mega Drive, but that's not the main course, as that honour belongs to Back in the Groove. The game opens with a very appealing and well-made animation. Good job so far, I'm impressed.
Yo, Earl, take the wheel.
Well, Toejam has already failed his own rule of never letting Earl drive. This time we're greeted by two new characters, Lawanda and Letitia. Lawanda is a new character specifically for this game, whereas Letitia was actually a character in the painfully obscure Toejam Earl 3 on the original Xbox. I never played it before, but it has the best character select screen in video game history.
Give it up, give it up, give it up for Master T. Say ho for the greatest rapper around, the DJ TJ. I jam your rap, your head is spinning like a b-ball. Can't stop it, can't even slow it down, y'all. You know you got no choice, you gotta dance when I get going. Move to the rhythm of the funk when I get flowing. Gotta give it up, Toejam in the hood. Huh, damn, I'm good.
Yo, they call me Earl, and I don't say that much, so I'm just cruising in the funky flow, you know. Everybody round, yo, they moving at high speed. I'm chilling it down, you know, moving at my speed. Everybody tripping, getting up in your face. Gotta stay cool, gotta take it at your own pace.
The name's Letitia and I'm in the house now, breaking it down the best I know how. You know I'm new, but I know this much. Yo, something was missing here, the female touch. Gotta get busy, gotta do it good. Y'all step back, cause Letitia is in the hood.
Wow, I got sidetracked there, didn't I? They decide to blast some funk to the people of Earth while Toejam fetches a drink. Toejam directs Earl to turn on the subwoofer, but Earl can't read. He said the red button.
What's the red button?
So Earl does as he says, which was accidentally the black hole generator. Why you need a black hole generator on your rocket ship designed for blasting fat beats is beyond me, but oh well. The entirety of Earth, the ship, and the group of four inside it get spaghettified. And they set off on their adventure to find the 10 ship pieces. The game brings the original to the modern world, complete with online co-op multiplayer. If you expect me to get footage of it though, it's not happening as only 7 people are playing the game on Steam as I am writing this script. Because I bought the game the day it came out, though, I can at least tell you what the multiplayer was like, which I'll save for just before the conclusion. Starting a new game, the choice of characters has been very greatly expanded, each character having their own unique perk and starting presence. For example, Earl has the ability to eat any food, including rotten ones, which is highly beneficial. Or for another example, Lawanda can use various coin meters used to unlock hidden goodies without paying 10 cents with each use. On top of this, there is a whole stat system for things like speed, life bar size, inventory size, and luck, which all get randomly increased upon level up. Well, I haven't even started the game and I'm already massively impressed. They started with a cute introduction, banging tunes in the background, a whole bunch of new characters, and a new effective stat system that makes the original look like a prototype. Well, it must be all downhill from here. Or is it? Starting the game proper, we get a similar introduction to the original, with Earl stranded on an island with a couple of presents and an express elevator. The slightly annoying level transition elevator has been revamped, with it playing a selection from a pool of dialogue that is influenced by what characters are currently being played and how many players there are right now. All well written and funny. Be warned, very nerdy gameplay analysis imminent. Cover your ears and viewer discretion is advised. The gameplay is similar to the original in that you want to avoid your enemies rather than fight them. Luckily, you move much faster and you are given much more chances to escape any earthlings chasing after you. The best addition to the game is the uncommon sunflower patch. If in mid-chase, no matter by who, they will be guaranteed to lose you if you simply stand still in a patch of them, which gives you a fair chance of escaping any earthling as long as you can get there first. A new feature was added, searching. By pressing square or X, you can search your environment for items. Bushes and trees containing items will shake, which can be searched for various things such as presents, food and money, to damaging bowling balls and malicious earthlings. Regardless of whatever you find is good or bad, you gain critical XP. You gain XP by uncovering map tiles and searching objects. Searching can become time consuming and boring, but it's absolutely worth it for the priceless XP. Not to mention a shout out to the developers for including an XP meter this time. Quick advice to anyone looking to play this game: spend as much time as you possibly can at the beginning to gain XP while the game is still easy. The last third or so of the game is agonizingly chaotic, and will require the best of the best presents and the highest stats. Not saying it isn't bad though. It's good chaotic fun when you aren't getting one shot by an ice cream truck. When you have collected enough XP, instead of leveling up instantly, you must see the man in the carrot suit, who makes a triumphant return in this game. As he is critical to progress, at least one clone of him is on nearly every single floor. Once again, for the same price of $2, he will identify what is in any present, which leads me nicely into the revamped present system. The stakes are much higher with the new present system. The actual pool of unique presents has been massively increased. I don't even think I've seen them all yet, and I've sunk 13 hours into the game, beating the game 3 times. Secondly, amped presents are now a thing. These are the same as normal version of the present, but the effect of it is usually doubled in power or length. For example, the normal present of Show Elevator will reveal the tile on the map where the elevator is, but the amped version will instantly teleport you right next to the elevator, allowing you to get through a floor in record time. This is also a double-edged sword, as bad presents effects are also amplified for the worse if the present is amped. Finally, there is broken presents. They are the same as normal present but require a fair bit of risk to open, as they can do damage if they fail to open. They can be fixed for $1 each by the friendly yet mad Professor Scientist bloke. Some of the enemies you encounter are very, very strange. For example, enemies include little devils, cupids, cavemen, a snotty sick child, a battalion of soldier chickens, an FBI agent that swaps your presents for randomized ones, a construction worker that makes you drop your presents, annoying good cause workers that deal no damage but put you to sleep, a cop on a Segway, sharks, a member of the Spanish Inquisition that will send you to the previous floor if he catches up to you, and a guy that is mowing his lawn who does tremendous damage. And I'm only scratching the surface of the variety of enemies that are encountered. Seriously good job, devs. Tons of enemies that all manage to be serious threats in one way or another. Friendly Earthlings are also very, very strange. Examples include Mahatma Gandhi, who makes you invincible if standing within his circle of peace, a hula dancer who will make both you and enemies stop, drop and dance, a group of cosplaying nerds who offer gambling services, and an opera singer who will follow you and sing along the way, insta-killing anything in their radius for the low price of just $3. Finally, there's money, which is much more common here than in the original Toejam Earl. It can be earned in 2 ways, finding it in the environment or playing a very simple but fun rhythm minigame. For 10 cents, you either have to play a pre-made beat or create your own and play it back. The more complex, the higher the reward. The more you play this minigame, the more your dance level increases, which I think increases the reward. As long as you hit the notes, you get 20 times the money that you put into playing the minigame back. I suppose I should also briefly mention the Hyperfunk Zone. This is an auto-running one-button side-scroller minigame that rewards the player with money, presents and XP if they have a reaction time better than a fighter pilot. While not holding A, you run normally, allowing you to pick up objects, but you fall through exits and collide with walls that slow you down. While holding A, you transform into a ghost thing that cannot slow down or fall through exits, but cannot pick up objects and eventually will run out of time if held down. This creates a nice balance and is a fun minigame that tests your short-term memory with when to hold down or let go of A to get the most rewards. I only have one complaint: that entrances to the Hyperfunk Zone are quite rare, and during a 2-hour playthrough I only played this minigame about 3 times. The chances of finding an entrance should honestly be increased. After 25 floors of endless bigotry and murder attempts committed by nearly the entire population of Earth, Earl has collected all the pieces of the Rat Master rocket ship. He flies back to his home of Funkatron, where he walks the yellow brick road to the big cheese, so to speak, called Lamont. One very unique thing about this game is that while very short, at about 2 hours long, the game has tremendous replay value with modes such as Randomized World, Hardcore mode, and the recently added Endless mode. And in addition, every time you beat it, you may unlock one of 3 locked characters and one of many power hats that give you a random bonus for a particular floor. This insane replay value allows the game to be played through many times and still feel very fresh. When we have unlocked our goodies for the playthrough, the game ends with the most shameless plug I will ever witness in my lifetime. What a Chad. Then the credits roll, where we learn that of all people, Macaulay Culkin, yes, the Macaulay Culkin, was an executive producer on this game. Apparently, he's a huge fan of the original Toejam Earl. Cool. Earlier, I said that I'd tell you what the multiplayer was like. Because this was 9 months ago, I unfortunately don't have any footage. So you have to go on my word, and the footage you're seeing right now will be irrelevant to what I'm talking about. I remember that joining a game was quick and painless. I played through the entire game in co-op with 2 people from France, who I initially assumed were just 2 separate people playing together. I was wrong, as it turns out they were playing 2-player split screen. Now, this is nothing spectacular for most people who mostly play games on console, as most developers who really care try their best to add split screen multiplayer in their games now. But for a game on PC, this is virtually unheard of. The only games on PC I can think of that are split screen or couch co-op are Cuphead, Serious Sam, and Left 4 Dead 2. And Left 4 Dead 2 split screen wasn't even official and had to be modded into the PC version. Hats off to Human Nature Studios for implementing this into the PC version. Another recent benefit to this is that Valve have recently introduced a new feature on Steam called Remote Play Together. This is basically Valve's version of SharePlay on the PlayStation 4. but apparently it works better. This allows someone who doesn't even own Back in the Groove to play split screen with someone who does together. Another thing that I distinctly remember is that after that game I joined another where I turned on a setting called online split screen view or something like that, and I was immediately blown away. The screen was divided into 4, like a typical split screen game, but I could see exactly what the other 3 players were doing at all time with no lag at all. Simply incredible dedication for such a small indie game. Well, take $500,000 as small if you want. Anyway, in conclusion, Back in the Groove is an incredibly good sequel, at least that's what I think is a sequel, to a very good Mega Drive game. It consistently and amazingly improves on what was already a great game, adding little to no things bad about it. Its difficulty is fairly well balanced too, just as long as you invest the critical time at the beginning of the game when everything is easy and you can serve presents in a smart way, you have a very good chance at succeeding. Have you noticed something missing? That's right, I haven't even commented on the game's killer soundtrack, and I'm not going to. There's only one word to describe it. Funky. It's also on Spotify, so look in the description for a link. Also, you'll be happy to know that if someone you know has an Amazon Prime subscription that they're willing to link to a Twitch account to get the Twitch Prime service, you can get this truly wonderful game for free on PC until January 1st. I'm not being paid by Amazon to say this, though I wish I was, so go out and get it if you can. I would fairly recommend it on PC, Switch, PS4 or Xbox One, but would highly recommend it if you can get a friend to play with you, either in person or online. But would Barry recommend it? Well... Toejam Earl Back in the Groove is painful for me to play, but aye, it's worth a playthrough or two, and you'd probably love it. Didn't get me wrong, this game has a lot going for it. The art style has a lot of effort put into it, all the different characters, whether it be playable ones, or the NPCs that hunt you down, or the NPCs that try to help you. The soundtrack is an absolute bop, with undoubtedly the fattest bass I've ever heard in my lifetime. It's just the gameplay. You just walk around, trying not to get curb stomped while you're picking up presents like you're playing as fucking Santa Claus. Not to mention, it's hard as fuck too. I got my ass handed to me on many occasions, even if I did try my best. I guess the phrase I'm trying to find is that it's not my cup of tea, which is a fucking stupid saying as my cup of tea isn't tea, it's iron blue. Overall, trying my best to look past my hatred of the gameplay, I'd give it a solid 7 cleave lungs out of 10, but I'm sure you'd absolutely love it if you give it a go. It goes on sale a fair bit on console too, so go and have a look if you're interested. Sorry if this video is unexpectedly shorter than the others, but I couldn't really talk about it in depth due to a lack of a constant plot, so I decided to try something new and analyse the gameplay in depth instead of the plot. I'd appreciate it if you left some feedback on how I did on the gameplay analysis in the comments. Oh, secret phrase, right, let's think. How about Mr. Rental has rather large genitalia? Well, I'm afraid we've come to the end of our time. Now for the exciting part which you've all been waiting for. Which games have made it to the new batch of 5? Well, here you go. Today, you can vote for Amplitude, a very funky music game for the PS2 by Harmonix, who went on to create the Guitar Hero and Rock Band series. Day of the Tentacle, a hilarious point-and-click game by LucasArts that involves toilet humour, time travel, and Star Wars references.
Happen later. Thank you. This is exactly the sort of thing I need for the time capsule.
Fallout New Vegas, a very large FPS/RPG hybrid. I know I said I'd do Fallout 1, but I think I need to get rid of the elephant in the room first. If you pick this one, it will take at least a month to make, and the video will be ridiculously long, so it's your choice. Crush, a criminally underrated edgy puzzle game for the PSP that truly blurs the lines between the second and third dimensions, and is absolutely not the game that I secretly want to review the most. Or Hotline Miami, a fast-paced, beautifully violent top-down shooter with a soundtrack as fat as you could possibly imagine. Votes end at 9 PM on Friday the 20th of December. Oh, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that World at War bonus episode. See you in Phase 2 of Review Corner. This has been Kai, and thank you for watching. See you, and take care.